Today I have a uniform residential loan application. This is probably one of the scariest things for borrowers for whatever reason. They always seem to resist actually filling out or completing a mortgage application. It's super simple to do. There's no commitment. All that happens is a loan officer, a licensed loan officer, will ask you a series of questions about what you're attempting to do in getting your mortgage, whether it's a refinance or purchasing a home, fills this out, pulls your credit, and makes sure that you're qualified. And then at the end of this, you'll actually get this thing called a loan estimate, which allows you, again, no commitment, and you can use this to compare loan offers that you get from multiple lenders. But you have to do this loan application. So what I'm gonna do today, in just a minute or so, is go through and tell you everything that's on this mortgage application so that maybe it won't be as scary for you. Most loan officers will do it over the phone, do all the work for you, fill it out, and give you that loan estimate as a result. But you have to do this part first. Until you do this application and until we pull credit on you, everything we talk about is hypothetical and really is not terribly helpful for you as you go to shop for a mortgage. So let me walk through what's on this. It looks scary. It's a lot of pages, but again, the loan officer can usually, because they're experts at this and they know this thing inside and out, they can usually go through this in about 15 minutes or less, and they can ask you all these questions. They'll fill it all out. They'll do all the work for you. Of course, they'll get you to e-sign it usually to validate that everything in here is accurate and so that the loan estimate will be accurate. But let me walk through this so that hopefully you won't be as scared of completing this application. I encourage you to do this as early in the process as possible because it will give you exactly your full opportunity for getting the loan. When you do this, you'll know whether or not you can get a loan or not. Okay, so the top part here is we're gonna ask you some questions about the type of loan that you want, the type of term, whether you want fixed or variable rate, how long, maybe 30 or 15-year rate. We'll ask you whether or not you want to look at a FHA or a VA, and then we'll look at property information. So we're going to ask you about the property you're going to purchase or you're going to refinance. Then we're going to ask you information about you as a borrower, and if you have a co-borrower, maybe a spouse or something like that, we're going to ask you information about them. Probably the scariest thing on here is your social security number, but you know, for the most part, that's readily available, and we protect that. Again, so mailing address, borrower's name, your marital status, social security number, home phone numbers, date of birth, that kind of stuff. Then we're going to ask you about your employment information. We want to make sure you're employed, make sure that you have good income. So we're going to ask you employment information. We're going to ask you income information. Then we're going to ask you about the debt side of the equation or the expenses you have, because we want to figure out as we combine debt and income, whether or not you have enough income to support the additional mortgage payment that you're going to have or the refinancing of that mortgage, the new mortgage payment. And then we're going to ask for your assets and liabilities. This is to give us an understanding of, do you have enough reserves in case, you know, for whatever reason we have sort of a downturn or you lose a job for a short amount of time. Do you have enough reserves to support, again, the repayment of that mortgage? That's everything to us anymore. As we've revised the kind of the mortgage industry, repayment is the most important focal point because that's what we got in trouble with back in 2008, 2009. Some people couldn't repay their mortgages. So we really focus on that. We're going to ask you if you own any other real estate, if there's a second home or vacation home out there, or maybe you have a rental property. We're going to ask you some of those details. And then we're going to ask you a bunch of declaration questions. So these are just general questions, specifically things about, have you had foreclosures, bankruptcy? Is there anything that we kind of need to know in the background of those declarations? And that's it. That's all there is to the mortgage application. Fairly simple. Again, your loan officer is an expert at filling this thing out. So he's going to ask you all the right questions and he's going to get you through it. He or she's going to get you through it in a relatively quick and efficient manner. And then when you're done with this, pull credit. We'll take a look at the credit picture, make sure that you qualify for the mortgage that you've requested on this application, and then we'll quickly get out, and by law, we have to get out very quickly that loan estimate so you can go shopping and compare apples to apples, whether or not there's potentially a better option for you out there. So again, encourage you, don't be afraid of the loan application. Super simple. It's the starting point. You should do it as soon as possible when you start to mortgage shop so that you have all of the information in front of that lender, and they can give you the best advice on the right type of mortgage for your situation. So encourage you to visit us at velocitylending.com and submit a request for information or call us directly. Any of our licensed loan officers would love to help you through this loan application and get you started on your mortgage shopping. Have a great one. Visit us at velocitylending.com.